Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. This week I have a very exciting video I want to do, which it's gonna be gifting myself the gift of rereading. I'm going to reread 3 of my all-time favorite books minus Funny Story, because I do reread a funny story during spring break. That's like my annual thing. So the books I am going to be rereading are going to be Six of Crows, one of my all-time favorite books. If someone asks me what's your favorite book of all time, it's either Funny Story or Six of Crows. The Book Thief. This, I don't think I'm ready for this. And my other favorite book of all time, Circe. I am so excited. Like, this is gonna be so freaking fun. I think the first book I'm going to reread is Six of Crows. So stay tuned and I can't wait to read them. It's actually so freaking cold where I live. I think it's like -1 out right now. That's how freezing it is. Okay, but I have started Six of Crows. I think I talked about this, but I haven't given like an actual update. I'm 128 pages in and I'm kind of like in this, like, I don't know if you can see, but they're like sorted out by different chunks and I'm in the second chunk right now, like the part 2, and it is literally like flashbacks are coming into my head, like from, I read this in 2021. Did I? Yeah, the last time I read this was 2021 and the flashbacks are coming. Like, I can remember my first time reading this, and I also can remember what's going to come, because it's been like, what, 4 years now since I read it last, and I kind of forgot what happened in the plot points, which that is gonna happen when you read a book so long ago. Like, you're gonna forget the little tiny parts. But now that I'm reading it and I go through like all the text and everything they're talking about, I'm literally getting hit with like future stuff that's gonna happen in the second book, Crooked Kingdom, and I'm already torn apart. Like, I know I'm gonna be emotionally wrecked after this book. But if you don't know what Six of Crows is about, it's basically it's in the world of Shadow and Bone, and it's the Grisha universe. So the Grisha kind of, they're these people in this universe that have powers, and I don't really know how their powers actually work, but I know some of them can be healers, some can bend material, some can like shapeshift, I believe. But we are following a group of kids who are going to perform a heist on one of the countries in this universe to get this scientist who created this crazy drug that will ultimately ruin the world if it gets out. So it's a cast of characters. They're kind of all criminals, but it's so freaking good. But yeah, so far I'm back in it. Like, I've never left. I have not left the restaurant since I picked this book up. It's just like immediately you're actually put inside of this world and these characters' perspectives, like right straight off the bat, you're in it. The world building is so rich and the descriptions are so immersive. I can clearly see like everything. And the characters, I swear, Leigh Bardugo created the most iconic cast of characters for this novel. Kaz, Kaz is probably one of my favorite book boyfriends, men ever. He is Kaz. And then my other favorite character in this book is, I think her name is, how do you say it? Inej? Inej? I think that's how you say it. I love Inej, like, but yeah, I think I'm 20% in, right? And that's the update so far. I'm gonna go read some more and hopefully I can finish this soon. Bro, Kaz and Inej are going to be the death of me. Say it with me. Bring back yearning. Bring back yearning. Last night, I finished my reread of Six of Crows, and this might be, I'm trying to think, okay, between these two books, this might be my favorite book of all time. Like, nothing tops this, specifically this fantasy. Like, I don't think I've loved a fantasy any more than I've loved this book. The only one that I think could top this is Throne of Glass. But just finishing this at the end I was biting my fingernails and I know what happens. Like, I know what's gonna happen and I still was screaming. Kaz and Inej. Kaz and Inej are probably, now I'm remembering, they are probably one of my top book couples ever. The yearning, the tension, the want, the need. Oh my god, they're just perfect. But yeah, Six of Crows, 5 stars, 6 stars actually. It holds up. It holds up on the test of time because this is still one of my favorite books ever. And if you have not read this duology, which is Crooked Kingdom next, you have to read it. It will change the way you think about fantasy as a genre. Nobody has ever done a better heist. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say other than the cast of characters are so the cast of characters is so intricately designed that you feel like you know all of them one by one. I can clearly sort out their characteristics, their personality traits, their powers, their just everything about them. I know them one by one, which I think is why this book is so huge and popular, because you understand the characters and you understand their wants, their needs, their dreams. And I think my favorite part about this book, I have it marked somewhere. My favorite part about this book is, I marked it right here. I said, because this is like in the middle of the book, I was reading and I started thinking, I was like, wait, the wheels are turning. I said, everyone is doing this heist for a different reason other than the money that they're gonna get, because they're promised like $30 million, but nobody is actually in it for the money. And we get to see like why each person is in it and the reasons they give and the backstories too. I love the flashbacks of like explaining their past histories and their families, their memories. It's so good. This book, bury this book in my grave with me, please. So I finished that and then I started The Book Thief, which, crazy story. I started The Book Thief and I was doing this video based off the 5-star reads I thought like were in my library that were my all-time favorite reads. And so I'm starting this and I got to page 31 and I started thinking, I'm like, I don't know if I love this. Like, I don't remember loving this, because what I'm reading right now, I'm like, I don't know. But it's like one of those books that I constantly bring up with everyone. And I read it also in 2022. I read it, or one, I don't know. But it's one of those books that I bring up all the time. And I remember it so vividly. I remember where I was reading it. And I don't know if it's just like the case of like the nostalgia it brought for the like time I was in when I read this. But then I go onto my Goodreads and I gave it a 4-star. And in my review, I talk about how I don't know if I like understood it well. And I don't know if I comprehended the full book. So this is technically not a 5-star. Like, I was supposed to be rereading my 5 stars, but this is not technically one. And I don't know if I want to continue reading this. I don't know if I love it. The writing is really, it's different, that's for sure. It reminds me of poetry almost, but I don't know. I don't know if I should keep reading this, because again, how many pages is this? Maybe I just go to Cersei, or I'm gonna try to find another 5-star in my library that I love. Or I just go to Cersei. But again, I am so scared to read this because it's really scary going back to your favorite books, because it's like, what if something changed? What if you have changed and your books have not changed with you? Well, maybe I'm gonna look for a different book to read. Okay. I have a reading update. I started Love and Other Words the other day, and I am about, I think I'm 309 pages in. I think I have about 100 pages left, and this book basically is it YA? I don't know. I don't think it's YA. It is not YA. This book is a romance about Macy and Elliot. It is kind of, if I could put like some tropes on it, it's childhood friends to lovers, second chance romance, girl next door, boy next door romance. And basically we're following Macy's point of view, and it is many years later from when Macy and Elliot first met. I think it's like 11 years later, after like this big thing happened between them that we don't really know about, and we're kind of figuring out the past and also what's going on in the present. So we get a past timeline of when her and Elliot first met and how they became friends and everything that kind of conspired. And honestly, returning back, this was another one of those books where it was like right place, right time. I read this senior year of high school, and let's just say I felt like I was in a similar situation to Macy, and I just remember absolutely being destroyed by this book. Actually destroyed. And I loved it so much. I just remember I finished it probably in a day. I sobbed. It was a whole thing. And this is one of those books I talk about to this day. And honestly, so far, I'm getting crazy nostalgia, and I really like it. I love the writing. I love specifically how the past chapters are written, because we're in the point of view of Macy when she was, I think it starts when she was 11 or 12, and the way Christina Lauren writes, like in the point of view of a 12-year-old, then a 13-year-old, then 14, then 15, and then just like a teenager, it is so spot on. The dialogue is so believable. Sometimes I don't really believe dialogue that people write in a teenager's perspective, because it's like, who was speaking like that at 14? Like, but it just feels so real and so raw. Like the emotions, it's just, I do have a bone to pick though with it, which is kind of surprising because maybe now that I'm 21 and I can see this book in a different perspective while reading it, I'm kind of pissed off at Macy in the present. Like, can't believe she's making the decisions that she's making. I get it. I get the trauma. I get the emotions. I get she can't deal with it. This is a spoiler, so skip until you see me out of this shirt. But I can't believe she like strings along this doctor. I mean, not this doctor. I mean, the painter she's like gonna get married to, and like seeing her try to process like validating her reasoning behind staying with this guy, but then also thinking about Elliot at the same time, and saying like it's just easier with him and staying with him. It was like half the book is her staying with this random character we don't even care about. Like, I don't even care about this dude. And we give him so much time. It's like, I do not care. And she doesn't care about him either, so why do we care? And he does like horrible things. Like, he treats her not that well, and he doesn't really care about her. And she still decides to like be like to Elliot, no, I'm with him. I'm going to marry him. When she's like, I see Elliot and butterflies literally threaten to kill me. So that kind of makes me mad because Macy, if you're 29, your frontal lobe is fully developed. Like, girl, my frontal lobe is not even fully developed, and I would not do the same thing you were doing. So that part is kind of making me mad, but I also I feel like with the backstory of Macy and her trauma and her family, hey, I can understand why. And I know she's a human. Like, she's not a perfect person and she's not a perfect character. But yeah, so I'm almost finished, and then I'll probably will come back when I'm finished and give my final thoughts on it. So I finished Love and Other Words, and I think I have a lot of stuff to say about it, but at the same time, I feel like the nostalgia just hits different when rereading like your favorite books of all time. It's like a pro and con, I feel like, of rereading books, is that it's just something that's so magical about reading is you can read a book at a certain point in your life and it will make you feel feelings and emotions and bring up memories that if you read it another time in your life in the future, it can completely bring up like a whole different bunch of emotions and feelings compared to the last time you read it. And it's just like each time you read a book, you see it in a different way and you notice things you didn't notice before, and you pick up on some things you might have not liked that you didn't notice in the first time you read it. And as you grow older, you can relate to it more from the experiences you experience. I think it's just a really beautiful thing about reading books in general, especially rereading books. I think that's a very beautiful part, but I don't even know why I'm talking about that. I don't know if I said this about Six of Crows, but that's still a 5-star. This is still a 5-star to me, but Six of Crows is like, that's a verified 6-star read. This, it's a verified 5-star read. I don't think I would say it's a 6-star. I also don't think it's one of my favorite romances ever. It's up there, like, as one of the ones like I will recommend to everyone. And the nostalgia just hits different when I read it. But, you know, I almost brought it down to a 4-star solely based on Macy's decisions and rationale throughout this whole book, I just felt like, I don't know, it was like a little too much. I feel like it felt not real to me in the end anymore, the reasoning behind why she stayed away from Elliot, and also what Elliot did too. If you know, you know, but what Elliot, the whole thing that separates them, specifically between what happens between Elliot and Macy, it's kind of caused by Elliot in the end. And what he did was low-key, I don't know, like, I do not I don't blame Macy for leaving him for 11 years, because I would be pissed off. You would never see me again. I swear. Maybe it's because they're childhood friends to lovers, but I swear you would, Elliot, if I caught you doing that, boy, you never see me again, ever. Because I was honestly kind of tearing up in the end. I was reading it on my treadmill and I was trying to record for you guys, but I kind of looked low-key fugly. But I was like getting emotional, which I feel like that's also another thing. If it still can inflict emotion on me when I know what's going to happen and I know what's coming, it's a 5-star, like, automatically. So yeah, I'm happy I switched this out from The Book Thief, because I don't think I could have done The Book Thief, and I've been wanting to reread this. And I'm kind of surprised that there's no movie for this, honestly. Someone needs to get on that. And they need to cast, I feel like, hear me out, Cam Cameron from Summer I Turned Pretty, he could be Elliot. I swear that's who I picture. I don't know why. That's all I can picture in my head. So, yeah. Next book. One sec. Let me go get it. None other than Circe, which I'm very scared to read, because I know I've said this about every single book in this video, and this is probably so annoying, but this is my favorite book of all time, and I say this to everyone. And I know what happens, like, I remember it, but I don't remember the details. And one thing about Madeline Miller, she is going to give us the details, and in the details, that's when you cry. I'm nervous, but I'm excited, so let's get into it. I started reading Circe. I feel like I have not moved spots from this, like, filming angle, but I have started Circe and I'm 142 pages in, which maybe that's 25%, I'd say. I don't know. And basically, this is like, oh my goodness, I'm trying to, like, find a way to describe the synopsis of this book, because it really is, I don't know, I would describe it as a coming of age story. I would say to me it's a coming of age story, because we're following Circe, who is a goddess. We start from, it's in her point of view, it's first person from Circe's point of view, and it's kind of her retelling her whole life story. And we start even from before she was born, from her parents' meeting. And we are following her through her journey of her life, and self-discovery, basically, of who she is, because she kind of is like, she's a nymph. I can't say it. But she's basically like in the world of the Greek gods and Greek mythology, she is kind of at the bottom of the food chain, and she has her father is, his name is Helios. I don't know, he's like the god of the sun or something. I don't know. But like no one really cares about her. Like she's kind of cast away as what would you say, like the ugly duckling. That's what I would call her. She's worth nothing. They all kind of are rude to her. Her mom doesn't like her. Her siblings don't like her. And I don't know if this is a spoiler. I'm not gonna say that actually. But basically she kind of does this thing that sets off this spiral of events, and she kind of spirals and spirals until she realizes like she doesn't want to be like all of the other gods, and she kind of wants to, I don't know, claim back her own life. And she kind of realizes like she's not like these people, so she basically gets exiled for something that she did. But we're kind of following how she deals with being alone, and I don't know, like I can't really explain it because it is just, I'm like only this much in, and I feel like I have been with Cersei for like 20 years. Like I know this woman, I know her, I've seen her grow so much, and it's like, look how I have a lot left. She has a lot of growing and experiences to do. And I think that is just something that is so beautiful about Madeline Miller's writing. I love Cersei. I love how she just thinks about herself. And I think one of my favorite things about her as a character is that she really thinks about the impact her decisions make on everyone else. And she's so empathetic. But yeah, I'm only that much in, but I just wanted to update you and show you proof that I've been reading. I finished Cersei, and I just really took my time with this one. I did not rush at all. I was just kind of like, if I'm gonna reread my favorite book of all time, I say this about every single one, but I swear Cersei is the one that I tell my friend, my boyfriend, everyone, like, this is my favorite book of all time. And I took my time with it. I think it took me about 5 days to read. And the second I got back into this world, into Cersei's point of view, it was like, it clicked. Like, the puzzle pieces aligned. I don't know what it is about this book and me, but the writing, oh my goodness, I've talked about this before, but the writing in this is just, it feels like every single line was written with just the most clear intention behind the words. Like, each line is supposed to mean something. And out of all of the ones I've read in this video, this is my favorite one. And this will take my spot for my number one book I've ever read. I know exactly what it is, actually. I need to stop saying I don't know. The way that we get so much in this book. I feel like I've read 15 books, but I only read this one book. We got stories from Cersei's childhood, from her teen like years, then her adult years, and then because she's a goddess, she can't die. So we get so many stories. And I think that's my favorite part, is that, you know, Cersei, we are always in her point of view, but the people coming to her and the stories she absorbs and witnesses herself, she tells it in such a beautiful way that I don't think any narrator could tell it more just human-like than Cersei. And that's the best thing too about this book, is Cersei is not human, but she's the most human character I've ever read. I've not noticed on the surface level, and a lot of it is about being a woman and, you know, what it means to be a woman and what it meant to be a goddess in this world. Like, I really liked that part because it ties in so well with what it is to actually like be a woman. And, you know, it talks about how the women in this world are seen as chess pieces, just wives, literally the whole thing. The sea nymphs that Cersei and her siblings are, the women, the word nymph means bride. So it's like Cersei is just meant to be a bride. Her sister is just meant to be a bride. And, you know, watching Cersei kind of step into her power and find her witch powers just is so good. This is a quote from page 381, and this is kind of the ending, so this is surrounding like someone that if you read the book you'll understand, but I'm not going to say who it's about. This is beautiful writing. It was so simple. If you want it, I will do it. If it would make you happy, I will go with you. Is there a moment that a heart cracks? But a cracked heart was not enough, and I had grown wise enough to know it. I kissed him and left him there. If you have not read this, you have to read it. If you read The Song of Achilles, you have to read this. Just beautiful. But that means we have read all of my favorite books, and I mean, I had such a fun time visiting my old worlds that I loved the first time, and now the second time around I can say that I love them even more. You know, if you really, really love a book, there's nothing more I recommend than giving yourself time in between reading it for the first time, and then maybe a year or two, read it another time, and you can just like feel how you've changed when you read it. And it's such a crazy feeling, honestly, because I kind of read all of these in the 2021 to 2022 years. So it was like that time frame, and now it's about to be 2026. So what? That's 2022 to 2020. That's 4 years. And I can tell that I've changed, and I also can tell that I've taken away more from these stories than before. It's a beautiful thing. So yeah, go reread your favorite books. This is your sign right now. And also also read these. So yeah, thank you for coming along, and I hope you enjoyed, and comment the most recent 5-star that you read down below, and then come back to this in 2 years and reread it.